Disclaimer, I do not dislike CinemaSins, and that is not a lie. For my next Everything Wrong with CinemaSins video, I'm going to be saying their video on the Good Dinosaur. Enjoy, everyone.
45 seconds of Disney and Pixar logos, as usual, even though you all have them memorized at this point.
And this is how they always do it, so it'll stay that way whether you like it or not, Jeremy.
Man, these dinosaurs learned how to grow crops in some straight-ass lines.
Yeah, so?
Pixar expects me to believe that the Apatosauruses evolved to presumably have retractable axes in their tails.
Well, we're talking about a world where the meteorite never wiped out the dinosaurs, but this is the strangest thing to you?
And super strength.
See the previous sin.
Well, with this kind of evolution, it's a wonder the Earth ever thought humans were necessary at all.
Well, we don't see the homes of the humans in this movie or what it is that they do, so I'm not sure I really get your point here.
If they can build a device for seeding, they can certainly build a plow. They also evolved hyperintelligence, which raises the question, how are they able to build tools like this without hands? There's no way they could tail whack that thing together.
Well, as shown later in the movie, Arlo and Henry build the trap using their mouths, so that's probably how Henry and Ida built these tools.
Other than surprising the viewers and the dino parents, is there any reason for this egg to have been so big when he's so small? Because I don't think that would actually happen.
Well, just before this, Buck hit Arlo's egg with his stick, which led to the egg cracking, which would suggest that Arlo was born prematurely.
Also, if I was Arlo's mom, I'd be kind of pissed right now. I pushed out this giant-ass egg for this?
But you're not Ida, Jeremy, and she and Henry don't react with disappointment, but rather with unconditional love and pride. So...
That's Clawtooth Mountain.
Clawtooth Mountain looks very similar to the Expedition Everest ride at Animal Kingdom. Not exactly the same, but enough to confuse some children.
Similar to the Inside Out video, they do kinda look alike, but why is that a sin of this movie?
Also, these dinosaurs couldn't decide if it looked like a claw or a tooth, so they said, F it, let's just call it Clawtooth.
I mean, it's a nice name regardless, so what's the point of this sin?
And we're all gonna take care of it together.
They've been alive for like 2 minutes and already have chores.
I don't think that's what Ida meant. I think she was saying that they'll all take care of the farm together as a family.
Convenient dead broken log is convenient.
Yeah, so?
Mud is not paint. Mud washes away in the rain. Yet this and every other mark made remains on the corn silo for the duration of the film.
But we aren't talking about the real world here, so does that really matter?
Go on, Buck. You earned it.
Making your mark apparently just means doing your job.
No, Henry previously said to Arlo, Libby, and Buck that they earned their mark by doing something big for something bigger than themselves.
You might be expecting me to sin this dino society placing such a high value on muddy footprints. Instead, I'm going to sin this massively heavy stone-based structure for standing upright all this time on 4 tiny, skinny wooden legs. What the f***?
Well, the reason why it's been standing upright all this time is because of all the pieces of wood here they used to keep it standing upright.
The dang wilderness critters coming over the fence, eating our food.
But I thought you said...
Now this'll keep them rotten critters from stealing our food.
He did, but the movie later shows that Spot was able to get inside the silo, so Henry was simply wrong.
If this keeps up, we won't have enough food to survive the winter.
But all you keep here is corn. Is corn the only food you plan to eat all winter? Do you not have other storehouses with other foods that collectively might mostly cover the shortfall of this one corn storehouse?
No, the movie doesn't show us any other silos, and also shows us that corn is the only food that they grow here.
The movie expects me to believe adorable dinosaurs are capable of this kind of trap building and critical thinking, despite being, dinosaurs.
And I feel like this should have made you realize you should have deleted that earlier scene about how Henry and Ida were able to build farming tools.
Jump scare? What are you doing here?
As a way to scare Arlo?
What if we get lost?
As long as you can find the river, you can find your way home.
Well, that sounds like some conveniently prescient bullshit that will come in handy later.
And it does when Arlo gets lost later and remembers Henry's words. So...
Arlo literally trips over the only rock in the pathway. F***ing Arlo.
Pointing things out on the screen.
Yes, I saw Disney's Hercules too.
Wait, did something happen to your audio? Because the thunder sound didn't play there.
Yes, it's a hurricane, but this river behaves as though the freaking Hoover Dam exploded upriver. Why? Because we need to Mufasa Arla's dad, of course.
Firstly, this isn't a hurricane, and secondly, storms actually can cause flash floods to occur in different ways, such as these ones here.
Well, hello, Lion King. I enjoyed you before, but did not expect to see you in dinosaur form, and from the same freaking studio. I mean, they just cranked the Lion King up to 11.
Except The Lion King isn't a Pixar movie, Jeremy, so...
Arlo ends up in the raging river waters mostly because he's stupid and has no spatial awareness, though the movie will try to blame it on the Pharaoh Man.
Narration.
Well, clearly he's going to get knocked out by a rock any second now.
Pointing things out on the screen again.
Also, he doesn't drown after this. Instead, he's floated to the surface to find air and other life-giving bullshit rather easily and conveniently.
And that might be because in these types of movies, the main character, meaning the protagonist, doesn't die, like I've said before.
It was very considerate of the river to place Arlo in this shallow pool with his head kept above water on a rock.
I don't think this was the river's doing. I think Arlo just happened to end up in this spot here.
Mama?
Protagonist is really stupid.
Remember though, you're saying this about a young dinosaur who gets easily scared and has just been swept far away from his family. Why would he be thinking clearly here?
That's what you get for not having hands.
Ouch.
Jeep, it's what's for dinner.
And this is a sin of the movie because...
Where's home?
Upriver, dipsh.
And Arlo figures that out himself by remembering Henry's words, just like you said earlier, Jeremy.
Bruce Almighty Moon in the house, y'all.
Jeremy says something random cliche.
Have I mentioned how good the animation is in this film? Because the story is terrible.
Yes, because you've removed 2 sins for the animation in this video. So probably a good time to give out my award here.
Arlo survives this fall, which is categorically, oh, who f***ing cares?
Decides it doesn't matter that Arlo survives the fall, yet sends the movie forward anyway. Classic.
If you took your young child to this movie, I bet you regret it.
But animated movies in general have scary things like this, and I have personally seen scarier things than this in other animated movies.
So, are humans in this version of history dogs? One could argue that the panting is just heavy breathing because of the wrestling match with the snake, but he's also sitting like a dog, and his name is f***ing Spot.
That's not the case with all the humans in this movie, because the family that adopts Spot at the end walks upright and doesn't behave like dogs.
Both Arlo and Spot must have Lance Armstrong's steroid-level lung capacity to make these gopher creatures pop out of the ground.
And that might be because this is an animated family movie, so real-world physics do not have to apply here, JR.
Aw, he taught him how to human paddle.
Yeah. So?
Maybe his parents were wolves. That's the only logical explanation for his continued non-ape-like behavior.
Well, I'm sure Spot's parents were humans too, and part of Spot's character is that he acts like a dog, which are descended from wolves.
But based on his ability to quickly and quietly move, maybe his parents were cats, or hobbits.
Well, like I said in the previous scene, I'm sure they were humans, and Spot's movement can be explained by the fact that he acts like an animal.
Because it's a movie, a storm can literally roll into the area in like 3 seconds.
Pointing things out on the screen.
Damn, Disney hates Ice Age. Also, that's horrific.
And I'm pretty sure that's the point.
Just like Jurassic Park, sudden T-Rex saves the day.
Yeah, so?
Could Butch just snap his neck instead of doing all this throwing? Wouldn't that eliminate the problem from happening in the future?
Well, I think if the movie did show that, I probably would have given it a higher rating, like I said in the Brave video.
Tiny horse wolf thing is able to take down a giant T-Rex with no problem.
Firstly, he's a wrestler, and secondly, he was pulling on Nash's neck, so it makes sense why this happened easily.
Arlo continues to conveniently find things to hide behind.
Narration.
Grasshoppers do not double as harmonicas, even prehistoric ones.
And of course he's taking this at face value again.
But my tail was stuck between a rock and a hard place.
This movie has 2 127 hours references too many.
Says the guy who puts pop culture references in his videos all the time.
One croc bit me on the face.
And a dash of Finding Nemo. This is a Disney Pixar cliche stew, basically.
Again, says the guy who always makes pop culture references in his videos.
I'm going to be really upset if that's a person, because that will mean that all my theories are false, and Pixar decided to make people dogs in this movie for no reason. Yep, it's a person.
So then what was the point of that first sin, Jer?
Oh no, an upside-down sky shark! Run!
Pointing things out on the screen.
It's also super convenient and kind of those pterodactyls to dip their lower fin just below the cloud line in unison to tip off their presence.
Narration.
Also, circling like sharks takes the shark parallel you're going for one step too far, y'all.
Well, that's just how you feel about it, so this will get my award.
Arlo survives this, although given the movie's previous events, perhaps this shouldn't surprise me.
And you still gave the movie a sin?
Main character is having a vision where his dead father shows up and tells him what he has to do to embrace his identity and fulfill his destiny. Now where have I seen that before?
Yeah, where have you seen it before, Jeremy?
Wow, the climax of this movie is taking place at the same time a weird hurricane is passing directly over the main mountain. Will wonders never cease?
Pointing things out on the screen again.
For some reason, the pterodactyls put the human food inside a hollow tree before trying to eat it. I guess for sport?
Actually, I think what really happened here was that Spot hid in his log himself, and the pterodactyls are now trying to eat him.
A 500-pound pterodactyl cannot carry a 2-ton Apatosaurus cup.
But the movie is showing you otherwise.
F*** off. Already pretty hairy situation, amplified by conveniently timed super landslide.
Yeah, so?
Movie does that thing where it tries to make you think someone's dead even though there's no way they're dead, which is kind of tired and annoying at this point.
Well, that's just how you feel about it, so I will give this my award as well.
Arlo got lost and manages to make it back home, all while not really accomplishing anything, so he gets to finally make his mark, whatever that means.
Well, what Arlo's accomplished here is that he overcame his fears and was able to safely make it back home. And here's the end result, everybody. This in total was 221. The sentence will be scared by chickens. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a nice day.